So it's pretty obvious that I have no eyebrows at all. Like I have just a few little sparse spots up here. It's been like that my whole life. I don't really know why. But I've tried growing them out and literally nothing has happened. I maybe got like a few specks here and there. Sorry about my throat too. I'm sick. I'm like battling this head cold, but I didn't want you guys to think I went MIA on you. So let's just jump right in. And honestly, this is so easy. I kind of taught myself how to do it, just trying different ways to kind of figure out what works for me. So hopefully this will help you guys if you have the same issue that I have. First, what I like to do is I like to take the Benefit Foolproof Powder. I also take a nice angled brush too. I always start with the darker side first. So where I'm going to start is I always start from the bottom. I mean, you don't really need to brush your brows if you really don't have any like me. So I always start from the bottom, and this is where I start to map out where I want my brow. And I just use like a light hand, and this is just going to help me when I go in with the pen, help me kind of follow along. And then I kind of bring it here. Then right here is where I kind of move my, eyebrows. So that's about where I would want my arch, would be right here. So I kind of just put like a little line there. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to be super precise right now, because this is just like going to be our guide. And then I slowly start to bring it out. I don't do a really dramatic dip down because that'll kind of bring your eyes down. So I do it out. Look at that vein. Whenever I lose weight and get back to being skinny, that vein always pops out. And so this is where I'm just going to start buffing it all in. And again, it's going to look a little messy at first, but it doesn't really matter. Then I go to the top and I start working the top. Again, follow that line nice and gently down. If you feel like you got too much, just kind of buff it away a little bit. This is really just kind of giving it that flat. See how it kind of gets, I'm buffing it and it's looking just a little bit messy, but it's kind of making it look like I might have like a brow or two there. So don't worry too much about that though. Then what I take next is my absolute favorite, my Precisely My Brow pen. And this is in 4.5, and I love this one. I love this one because the tip is so little. It really helps you give those feather-like strokes. So I kind of start where my arch would be. And I'm using the lightest hand ever, and I'm really just using the side of the pen. And I'm just going back over where we started, going to the front. Then I'm going to start bringing it down, just like that. Again, I'm kind of mapping out where I want my brow. Go back, kind of buff it a little bit, and go back in, and this is where I start drawing in my feathered hair. So you want to go all different ways. So right here it's really sparse, so I kind of start drawing up like that, really lightly, right? And then really want to start like just flicking it. Flick, 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 flick. And then I bring these little guys down, and then I start going the opposite way. See, this is what gives it more of those hair-like strokes. So keep those little guys looking down. And I'm just going to kind of draw in where I would naturally have brows. And then also go up again. And I kind of do that until I like the way it looks. Then I'm going to take a little more of that powder for where I'm like really sparse at. And I'm just going to start in right here. Just kind of really help fill that in because it's really sparse. And then I kind of like to have these stick out because that's what looks the most natural. So I just darken them up a little bit because they're super blonde. And then I go around, bring it up a little bit, flick, flick, flick. Super easy. I take a little Gimme Brow because it's kind of tinted, and then it's such a little brush that it really gives me these hair-like strokes. And then I kind of brush it right where I have like no hair. And then that kind of gives me a little bit of that look like I do have hair. To clean it up, I take this Sigma brush. I have been using it forever. The Sigma E68, and I love it because it's really, really thin and it gets as close to the brow as possible, so it really cleans it up perfectly. Sorry about my voice, it's so annoying. And this is where I'm just going to, I always put it on the brush and then I just kind of pat it down because I don't want to lay too much up around here because then it might smear and then you'll get more gray and muddy. So I kind of just go like that because I'm going to set my eyes anyway, so I have just a little bit on the actual brush. And this is where I kind of start sculpting. And this is my favorite part because if you made any mistakes or jacked them up or anything, this will fix it. And this also makes me look like I just got fresh wax, so I'm into it because I don't get waxes, obviously. You only need a little concealer because if it gets wet and kind of smears, it's going to smear into your brow and then it's going to like have that bluish grayish tint to it, and that's just, you don't want that to happen. Then we have that going on. And then the last thing I do is I am going to clean up the top, but I'm going to use whatever foundation that I'm going to use for that because you obviously want it to match the rest of your face. All right, so I put a little bit of that foundation. I tip my head back and I'm always looking down at my mirror so I can get as close as possible. And I'm using a really light hand. Looking. And I just follow that guide. And honestly, just let the brush do the work for you because it has such a fine point. You barely need to touch your skin and it gets so close, like that. And then here, I kind of just push it a little bit because I don't want them to be too square. So I kind of just buff it around there. It makes all the difference having a good brow, and it also helps pull your, face back a little bit, and it just really opens up your eyes. So I hope this helped you guys if you guys don't have any brows, and I love you all, and I'll see you soon.